Have you ever found yourself waiting for God or the universe to heal you only to feel more stuck and powerless? I used to believe that there had to be one miraculous moment that would fix everything. But it wasn't until I changed one significant thing that my symptoms finally started to improve. The same goes for over 200 of my students over the last 2 years who started to heal from their insomnia, chronic pain, and skin problems using the same principles too. So in this video, I'm going to show you the one belief that secretly keeps you stuck and what to do instead so that you can finally heal. To start, most people haven't really spent much time thinking about their beliefs or how the mind works. I mean, why would you unless you had to? But when you're sick and you've run out of options, then you absolutely do. And that's really important since your beliefs literally decide if you heal or not. The old saying goes, if you think you can, then you can. And if you think you can't, then you can't. And whatever you believe in shapes your reality. But you can't just say that you believe something and then expect that to be a solid belief. It takes time and effort to grow a belief, exactly like it takes time for a seed to grow into a plant. And then you actually have to follow through what you say you believe in practice. Here's how it works. Let's say that you want to lose weight, and you know that you should exercise in order to achieve your goal. But if you spend your day eating donuts and skip the walk, then deep down, you definitely don't believe that you can change. And you're not really doing anything about it either. And if you want to see results in your life, then you have to work on growing that belief by doing things that support it, both mentally and physically. First of all, you have to change your mindset because you're constantly thinking thoughts like, I'm never going to heal, or everyone in my family is overweight. And if you think the same thoughts thousands of times every single day, then they eventually turn into limiting beliefs that you're totally unaware of. And so if most of your thoughts are anxious and fearful, then those thoughts will also turn into anxious, fearful beliefs where your mind loops on the same worst-case scenarios while you don't do anything to change your current situation. That's why you stay stuck. And I learned it the hard way. I was so confused and frustrated when I started paying attention to my mind. And there was this one thought that haunted me. Why me? Why would anyone have to be sick practically since birth? It didn't make any sense at first, but my symptoms actually forced me to look inwards, and I would never have healed without them. That's when things finally started to click, and I escaped the mindset where I was the victim, which I had been stuck in for decades. And that's the journey I've shared here for the last 2.5 years. And that journey has been messy, mind-blowing, and I've tried my best not to sugarcoat anything. But here comes the big but. Even after all the videos I've made and everything I've shared, I still get questions like this one. It seems like your healing was due to an instant energy that may be difficult to reproduce again. How come there is a method for it in your story? People have heard me talk about one single mystical experience I had back in August 2022, over 3 years ago, lying on my own bed, fully aware of what was happening. And they believe, there's that word again, they believe that this was the moment when I healed for good, when the stars aligned and a cosmic force blessed me, and then all my problems vanished just like that. Poof, gone. Spoiler alert, that's not what happened. And this is exactly why I started this video talking about beliefs. And now is the moment you've been waiting for. It's time for me to reveal the one harmful, limiting belief that so many people hold on to, exactly like I cling to my morning tea. The belief is that you have to have a mystical experience to heal from chronic or incurable diseases. I used to believe that too, but it's not true. That idea gives all your power away, and somehow it also implies that some people are more loved than others by God. Not only that, it also limits the power that is available to you within you. Just feel what it's like to think that there's nothing you can do except sit around waiting for a miracle. That sucks, and it's exactly what stopped me from healing for so many years. And ironically, my own mystical experience proved it. So here's what happened back in 2022. One day, I lay down on my bed while I was having a really hard time. And during the next 2 hours, I was thrown around my bed by an invisible force. I wasn't meditating, and I couldn't have done it given how much my body was shaking. And when I sat up after it, I noticed that my jaw had snapped back into place, but most of my other symptoms were still there. I mean, it was great. I could finally eat a sandwich and chew normally for the first time in a year, but that was it. The real takeaway, however, and what fundamentally changed after that moment, was my mindset and my belief. Once I realized that there was more to this world than what meets the eye, then I also started to learn what actually heals us. And over the next 2 or 3 years, I discovered something huge. We all have access to inner guidance, but most people can't hear it since their minds are so cluttered with old shitty ideas and limiting beliefs that just aren't true or helpful. And if you want to learn how to hear your inner guidance and stop making fear-based decisions, then click the link below this video to get a free mind training guide. Also, just for the record, to this day, I have never had any mystical experiences during my meditations. My meditations are about as uneventful as British parliamentary sessions. Nothing happens other than an occasional mental snore. And if most of my symptoms had disappeared during my mystical experience, which they didn't, then I wouldn't be here teaching you how to heal. You can't teach how to have a mystical experience. It's mystical, entirely unpredictable, and spontaneous by definition, which means that it's impossible to bottle it up and sell it as a formula. That's why I started this channel in the first place, to show you what actually works. So the million-dollar question is, how do you heal? The answer is simple: through your mind. This is my 8th year training my mind and my 3rd year teaching others. There's a formula, mental tools and techniques, and they work, even if you're skeptical at first. I'll let you in on a little secret. No one believes that this can work when they get started. Not one student. I didn't either. But the good news is that you can change your belief since you can change your thinking. And here's the twist. The more you train your mind, the more likely you are to have a mystical experience, but usually not when you are desperately waiting for one. A mystical experience is kind of like a bonus or a sign that you are right on track. But healing is a skill, and it's a skill that you can learn. For many, many years, I missed the fact that it was up to me to create change, and it's literally up to you too. Isn't that great? It means that you're not powerless, you're not lost, and you probably don't even realize just how powerful you are yet. But you'll discover that when you train your mind. Whatever is meant to happen will happen, and that looks different for everyone. But the process or the formula is exactly the same for everyone. It can be learned, it has to be repeated, and it doesn't rely on magic or luck. That's the beauty and the strength of it. So, how do you heal? I'll show you how it works, and I've made it super simple by narrowing it down to 3 short steps. Step 1 is all about wanting to believe that you can heal. It doesn't matter that you don't believe in it yet. It's only natural that you don't, given everything you've been told that goes against it. And therefore, your healing starts when you decide that you do want to believe in it. That's enough. Step 2 is all about your willingness to grow that belief. You use your thoughts and a set of mental tools, and then you put it all into practice. Ask yourself, what am I willing to do to heal? My own answer to that has always been anything and everything. And once you've decided what that is, then you take action in alignment with what you want. Step 3 is to stay consistent. Healing is kind of like learning how to ride a bike. You have to keep showing up even when you fall off and hurt your knees. Change takes time and lots of repetition, especially when you're overcoming years of doubt and fear. And that doesn't have anything to do with God. He doesn't favor some of us over others. That divine force is essentially unconditional love. And I like to call it the flamingo because as a symbol, it's a lot less triggering and way more fun than the word God is. Either way, it still lives right inside your mind. So if you want to find God, then look there. It's the best kept secret. Well, not anymore. And the only way to access it is through your thinking and by growing your beliefs in what's possible for you. That's literally how you heal. Click the link below this video to learn how to train your mind and change those beliefs in practice. And if you don't know how to do that yet, or don't even realize what those negative beliefs might be, then go watch this video next.